Walking daily in a tightrope may be the feeling of millions of women facing discrimination in the European Union labour market. Ending a culture of wage secrecy in the private sector could help fight gender inequality. A binding directive for pay transparency is part of the European Commission's new strategy to advance women's rights, for which they have launched a public consultation.
It is evident that you cannot compare salaries unless there is pay transparency. It is very important that we speak to all the stakeholders. The aim is to achieve this pay transparency in order to be able to move on to address the gender pay gaps.
The gender pay gap in the EU stands at 16%. There are big differences across the EU, ranging from 25% in Estonia to 5% in Romania. Most of the EU member states don't have such measures, but there are examples of good practices in Ireland, Belgium, France, Finland and Sweden. Such tactics can go from including the pay range in job adverts to mandatory reports about salaries that will be subjected to audits. But the business sector prefers another approach.
We don't think that, for instance, binding transparency goals will specifically improve the situation, because we've seen in some member states that this is rather producing complexity. What we need to do, we think, is to really improve childcare facilities and maybe also facilities for other family members you might need care for.
Another measure in the strategy will be to get at least 50% of women on company boards. Today, they are less than 8% of female CEOs in the European Union's largest companies, so trade unions call for mandatory quotas.
Often for women at the top, they're trying to do the right thing, and this law will help them. This law will make them able to go to the boardroom and say, I want pay equality in this company. The law backs me up. You have to do it. Help me do it.
Another priority will be to fight physical and sexual violence, which affects 33% of women in the European Union, by really implementing the Istanbul Convention. Isabel Marques da Silva in Brussels.